right, let's talk about this. And we're sorry we're talking about this, but the start of school, the new school year is exciting, and kids can get kind of nervous about starting a new grade.
Yeah, our next guest is here to help parents and their kids ensure a smooth transition this year. So joining us live this morning is Grace Bastidas, editor-in-chief of the digital publication Parents. So hello, Grace. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, this is a crazy time of year. Everyone's just into that summer slide. So getting back into the school year is really hard for a lot of kids, but especially the littlest ones who aren't even used to being in the classroom. We're talking about preschoolers.
Yeah, so the key is really preparation, and starting preschool is a huge milestone, and it's okay for kids to feel a little separation anxiety. I think the trick is really to explain the schedule to them, what they'll be doing, the games they'll play, when lunches, and also remind them that you'll be there at the end of the day to pick them up. You can also try visiting the school in advance. Many schools host open houses so that kids and parents can meet the teacher and see the classroom, and hopefully that gets them a little more excited.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you get through preschool. Now you've got kids that are kindergartners. That becomes just a teeny bit more grown up, right?
Yes.
How do you get kids ready for kindergarten?
Well, kindergarten kiddos tend to operate on their own schedule.
Yes.
So, and we know that mornings before school can be really hectic. So do a test run of what that looks like, all the things that need doing, so that they get a sense of how busy those mornings can be. And also, kindergarten kids should really know certain skills, so be able to recognize their name, count to 10, use a safety scissor, and hold a pencil. They should also be able to take care of their own needs when they go to the bathroom, when they dress up, when they wash their hands. So practice, practice, practice ahead of time.
Yeah, because that's the stage when structure really is introduced into the classroom, because they're so used to kind of that play-based learning. And then kindergarten is really that transition, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And then you have elementary school, when that is really so much structure, homework most likely. So you want to create a dedicated workspace for your child so that they have their pencils and their paper, and teach them how to keep it tidy. Kids at this age will also be working on group projects, so you want to practice teamwork and really hone in on those collaboration skills. So eye contact, listening, asking questions, pitching in. Another thing that you should do with your elementary school student is practice multitasking, because usually at this age they get directions that have multiple steps. So at home you can have them put on their pajamas, put their dirty clothes in the hamper, brush their teeth, so they can learn how to do these different steps on their own independently.
Multitasking early, I guess. I guess it's never too early to start learning how to do that.
Yeah,
right?
start now.
Okay, let's talk about middle schoolers. That brings up a whole new area of life, right?
Yes, they're likely going to a new building and maybe even getting there on their own or with a friend. So you want to practice walking to school. Remind them about road safety, and tell them what to do in an emergency. They're also likely switching classes between subjects. So have them create a little mini visual schedule that they can color code by subject and tape in a planner to help with time management.
Smart.
And if they're using a locker, have them practice the combination and how to open that, because you don't want them complaining that they can't open their locker.
I mean, middle schoolers are the kids that already know what school is like. They know the demands of school, but it gets even worse when you're in high school, when you're entering high school, right? Because then they're like, okay, I know what school is like. I am not looking forward to returning. At least some of them are not. How do you get them psyched to go back to school and prepared for that, especially high schoolers?
Yes, you want to maintain a positive outlook so that they don't pick up on any negativity from you. But high school does bring its own set of challenges, both academic and social. So carve out time in your daily schedule to check in with your kid, talk to them, see how their day is going, so that they know they have a support system if any issues should arise. You also want to encourage them to make friends. It can be an isolating time. So practice making small talk, ask them open-ended questions. And really important, talk to them about social media and staying safe
gosh,
online.
that's so true.
And definitely make sure you have some rules around device usage at home.
Definitely. That goes for even middle schoolers, because a lot of kids in middle school
exactly.
sneak on and get their
of
own social
course,
media account.
Of course.
Exactly. So
My
don't have
nephew's
those
12.
devices in their bedroom.
Yes.
My nephew's 12. He's already like in that world. It's like, you know, it starts
crazy.
it starts earlier and earlier. Okay, so we want to talk about kids heading off to college, but I guess it's for the parents and the kids. We should
Yes,
talk about
yes.
that a little bit. It's a tough time.
It is a tough
But
time, but it's
exciting.
an exciting
Yes,
time.
of course.
Exactly. So one of the ways to ease that transition is to make sure they are prepared for that first day, especially if they're moving
Yeah.
into a dorm. Do they have everything they need? You also want to schedule some calls with them, Zooms, FaceTimes, whatever, but come up with a schedule together so that you agree on how often you should check in with them. And if they're really homesick, promise you'll visit during those family weekends. And for the parents, you know, it's hard to see your kid go, but check in with them and talk to other parents in the same situation so that you feel supported yourself.
How often should you check in with them in college? I feel like, you know, you don't want to be like, you look at the kid,
Overburdened,
look down
yeah.
the phone and be like, Mom's calling again. But you know, you want to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it really is having that conversation with your kid, communicating, asking them, how often should I call you?
Yeah.
You know, you want to respect them also and give them that independence.
Yeah, of course.
So I think you come up with that plan together.
You know what I think is funny? I mean, we're talking about parents getting prepared to send their kids away to college, but there's also that anxiety for parents that are sending their kids to kindergarten, to school for the first time. That separation is something parents have to prepare for also, right? Because it's
Yes.
like, are they going to be okay?
They're gonna be okay, first of all. But I think again, it's don't worry, because children, especially young kiddos, will pick up on, you know, any negative feelings.
That
so
we have as
try to stay
parents.
calm and confident, and they'll be fine. And stay busy during the day while they're in school. Do the things you enjoy doing, and they will be home soon enough, and you'll be in a routine soon enough.
I think you also don't want kids to ever feel guilty about leaving if they're gonna, you know, go to college and they're going
Yeah.
away. Because sometimes I think that, you know, they can feel like that. They can feel like, gosh, I'm leaving. She's
Leaving
sad.
mama.
She doesn't, you know, that happens.
Exactly, but you are your child's biggest cheerleader, so
100%.
you will not make them feel like that, especially
100%.
if they're excited to go off and, you know, chart their own path.
It's a great time.
You know,
I can't
and
believe we're
true-
already talking about school, but it's a great time.
And listen, truth be told, a lot of parents are like, hallelujah, school is back.
And then there's that.
Exactly.
It's good to have you on this Friday.
Well,
thank
you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. All right, and for more tips and resources for families, you can visit parents.com.
All right.